سبحان ما قال للعاصي العاصي إلينا عود.
I mean, we should add, actually in this period as well, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu intends to migrate as well. Abu Bakr, and he actually goes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he seeks to migrate because of the the persecution, and he just says, and this is in Bukhari, and he says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I just want to migrate and go towards Habasha, but at the same time, I just want to go and worship my Lord. That's what Abu Bakr, I just want to be, right? And he gets to a place known as Bark al-Ghimad, Abu Bakr, and there he meets Ibn Dughunna. Ibn Dughunna is a chief, and he sees Abu Bakr at Bark al-Ghimad, and he's the Sayyid of that area, Ibn Dughunna, he's the chief. And he sees Abu Bakr, and he's like, what's he doing here? And he says, what are you doing here? Why you come out of this side? And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, akhrajani qawmi. He says, my people have expelled me. Right? فَأُرِيدُ أَنْ أُصِيحَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَأَعْبُدُ رَبِّي. He goes, I just want to now roam the earth and worship my Lord. And then Ibn Dughunna, he goes to him, فَإِنَّ مِثْلَكَ يَا أَبَا بَكْرَ لَا يُخْرَجْ. He says, Ya Abu Bakr, the likes of you are never expelled. Because everyone knows Abu Bakr, right, for what he is. And he says, and then he gives, look at the reasons he gives. It's really interesting. What evidence, what he cites to Abu Bakr, why he says the likes of you are never expelled. Look at the reasons he cites. Very similar to the reasons Khadija radiallahu anha cites to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he received revelation, and the reasons why she said that you will never be forsaken by your Lord. Do you understand? He says similar. He says, "Innaka taqsib al-ma'dum," right? You help the one without, the one tasil al-rahim. You keep good family ties, yeah. You tahmil al-kal, you support the poor, or tukrid dayf. You honor the guest. وَتُعِينُ عَلَى نَوَائِبِ الْحَقِّ. Literally the same reasons. It's ajib, isn't it? Literally they are. If you look at what Khadija radiallahu anha says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibn Dughunna is saying the same thing to Abu Bakr as a reason of, nah. People like you aren't. And you help people in trouble. Like with their calamities, their adversities in life. Tu'een. You help them upon their nawa'ib al-haq. And he says, so I'm going to be your amnesty. I'm going to be your protector. So he takes Abu Bakr back to Mecca, announcing his amnesty to Quraysh, telling them that no, he's under my protection. He remains in Quraysh, and then he starts, doing. And they said, okay, he can come back on condition of what? He can't pray aloud, because there's a thing. When Abu Bakr would lead the prayer, when he'd pray individually, but he would read aloud, and it would capture like Quraysh, like the women and others. They would actually kids. They'd come around and try and listen. So they made that a condition. They said you can't read, you can't have him reading aloud, right? If he's coming back, he has to, right? Because that la yasta'lan, we would accept that. But and then they say that, and they're like, okay, because he said fine at the time. But after a short period of time, Abu Bakr in his home, he has a masjid in his home, and then there he stands there praying in his home, because the condition was not to do it in the haram, right? But now he's in his home. But people can hear him, right? And you'd read Quran, and it would cause this, attention from, the young ones, and even from the women, because they'd be taken by his recitation and his crying. When he'd read, right, he wouldn't be able to hold himself. This obviously gets out to Quraysh. They go back to Ibn Dughunna saying, listen, he's violating what we thought was an agreement. Ibn Dughunna comes and he says, okay, look, I gave you my protection, Abu Bakr, that you worship your Lord in your house, and now this has become a case. You built a mosque there. You read aloud in your prayers, and it's causing them to be worried. A fitna is going to cause for their children and the women, as in attract them to the deen. He says, so look, can you not do that? He's trying to reason with him, and at that point Abu Bakr just says that you can take your amnesty back now. I don't, I resign myself to the amnesty of Allah. Right?